and his opponent, Talon Knisley.
Knisley also seeing his debut tonight, 18 years old, trains at Dragonborn MMA, but says he's been training for over 6 years. His father also fought too. Another student we have here.
18 years old.
Couple of debuting amateurs. It's always an interesting fight because generally the way it plays out is the fight goes either 1 minute or the full
whole
3
time,
rounds.
Yeah. And it's just so cool to hear 18 years old making his debut.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to get all old on you. You know, the MMA wasn't even a sport when I was 18 years old. And look at his eyes. He's ready to go.
There was a 12-year-old girl who choked out a woman in Japan last week.
Here we go.
I believe a 16-year-old on the same card landed a head kick knockout. I don't know if that's good or bad for the sport.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of conflicted.
Knowing what we know about head injuries and stuff is.
Either way, back into the cage with Rick Toms.
This is Premier MMA Championship, and this is an amateur fight scheduled for three 3-minute rounds. Introducing first in the red corner. He stands 5'8", weighing 145 pounds. Fighting out of Mount Vernon, Kentucky, he represents Underground MMA Warren Mullins. And in the blue corner, he stands 5'9", weighing 145 pounds. Fighting out of Hillsboro, Ohio, he represents Dragon-born MMA Talon Knisley.
Knisley has a slight reach advantage here. And one of the things I always like to look at for debuting fighters is how they react when they are in the cage and Rick Toms stares at them and calls their name for the first time.
Absolutely.
Knisley stone cold.
Oh.
Throws a head kick right out of the gate and lands a punch. Grabs a waist lock, working
A little
to
high
get
on that.
Yeah, working to get Mullins to the ground, and does so. And now he's immediately in Mullins' guard.
Nicely, he didn't take his eyes off of his opponent the whole time in the cage.
As I was saying, Mullins was a little anxious. You know, he was hopping around on the other side, maybe keeping himself warm. Maybe some cage jitters. He's landing some nice punches from the bottom there, though.
Absolutely.
As soon as Knisley gives him any space, he landed a punch. Mullins closes the guard.
Oh.
Knisley works the can opener to open the guard. And Mullins all too happy to slug Knisley with a few punches.
And it's so exciting, like the first amateur fights, the adrenaline dump they have.
That was ill-advised. That whatever Mullins just went for, ill-advised.
Good toss
and he
by
just
Knisley.
paid the price for it. Mullins was able to make it back to his feet briefly. There was an exchange, and then immediately Knisley sent him ass over tea kettle, crashing to the mat.
Nice to try and get that knee. Oh, here we go. Should be a mount coming here soon.
Mullins pinned to the mat early in round one.
You can tell Nicely has some decent wrestling experience. His chest pressure on Mullins.
Really good chest pressure, and Mullins is trying his best to keep his knee up to prevent Knisley from passing. But I don't know if Knisley even wants to at this point. He seems content to throw knees. Now a few of those are going into the back. That's a bit of a gray area now to the ribs, but.
And you know, if Mullins kept taking those knees, oh, there he goes.
There's the mount. Knisley with hammer fists. Mullins covering up.
Needs to get those hips moving or Mullins is going to be in trouble.
Big John House calls an end to it.
That's it.
What a dominant victory.
Great debut.
For Talon Knisley.
And that's a cool name, by the way.
Yeah, we touted his work ethic before the fight, that definitely was showcased in this bout.
18 years old, doing all that. I mean, that's a great work ethic.
Such a beautiful hip throw that
Yeah.
really spelled the beginning and the end of that, Danny.
Right. Great display of wrestling right there, too.
I mean, from the first moment, as we mentioned, the way that he pierced his opponent with his eyes as Rick Toms was calling his name. Just from his demeanor, he stayed level-headed. The top pressure was on point.
Absolutely.
He capitalized on every one of Warren Mullins' mistakes. That was
2
impressive.
minutes, 26 seconds
Absolutely.
into round number 1. Referee Big John House stops this fight due to strikes. Your winner, Talon Knisley.
And Talon's going to like that picture, too. You know, hey, look, I won. Beautiful girl gave me a medal.
Needless to say, I think Talon made his father, who was also a fighter, proud.
Absolutely.